Welcome back. Today I am discussing about my thoughts on the intubation aerosol box at ICU. So I want to again say that this is about the ICU stuff. This is not about the theater stuff which I am going to share my thoughts. These are the references which I have taken. If you have time, kindly go through some of these references. Some of the references are very good. It's very informative also. So the concept of aerosol box emerged recently, mainly after this NAGM article, which came on April 3rd, 2020. This was the anesthetist. He's a Taiwan anesthetist who was behind this idea. He suggested the concept of the aerosol box. The main idea is that it prevents the splash of the patient cough or the aerosol towards the anesthetist or the intubating consultant. This was a video which he shared.
Course, the infection transmission risk when caring for patients with COVID-19. A single cough can contaminate a significant portion of the PPE, the clinician's neck, ears, hair, the floor, and surrounding equipment. Patients can cough during intubation and extubation. It is estimated that with a flow rate of up to 7 to 8 liters per second, a cough can spread a large number of droplets with size varying from 0.1 to 10 micrometers. Our simulation falls within this spectrum and produced many droplets of varying size.
This was a simulation which was done actually, it's not a real curve, a simulation which was done. So after this concept, there have been a lot of interest in aerosol box. So we will just try to analyze the situation. First, there is no doubt this is an anti-splash technique. And second, if it is a smooth intubation, it might work. But if you go in detail, we can see that this is basically a correspondence. It's not an RCT trial, it's not a main trial, because they didn't have much time for it. And second thing is that in the beginning sentence itself, he was saying that clinicians with inadequate access to PP. So it was mainly meant for clinicians for having inadequate access to PP. And at the ending of this article, he said a caveat. He said few things. One, it restricted the hand movement. It requires training. And in case of difficult airway, we have to be ready to abandon the use of the box. And it was not validated for projectile direction, speed, or turbulence. And in the real study, they used a video laryngoscope. So we need a video laryngoscope for this. So coming to in details, what is the stability of the SARS in plastic? Because most of these boxes are made of plastic. We will try to see. This is again a correspondence article which came in April 16, 2020 in NAGM, where they compared the stability of aerosol as well as surface stability of SARS-CoV-2 virus. And what they found is that in plastic, if you're keeping a temperature 23 degrees Celsius and 40% relative humidity, the stability of the virus is up to 72 hours. That means that viable virus was lifted up to 72 hours. So in the presence of a plastic, the viability of the virus is going to be almost 3 days, which is really scary. And second, how to clean this box? In the actual study, he has mentioned wiping it with the alcohol disinfectant. So wiping the box with alcohol disinfectant carries a lot of concern because we are having edges and borders which will be very difficult to clean, especially if things are getting busy. And second point is about the focus. We will be having a small focus problem, especially getting a 3D dimension problem, because we are using three things. We will be using goggles, we will be using the visor, and we will be having the plastic transparent box also. So we will be having three different focus here. So getting a 3D dimension is going to take some time before intubation. What about in case of difficult intubation? In case of difficult intubation like short neck, obese patient, it is actually, since we are having a very restricted hand movement, this is going to create more and more problem. And this box is very heavy. If situation is very chaotic, it may fall off the bed and may injure the patient or can injure the staff. And what about the people who are actually assisting the intubation, who are supposed to give the equipments and all in case of difficult intubation? One, staff assistant may not be protected from the aerosol or splash, especially in case of failed intubation, where we need to go for back valve mechanism, or we have to mask with a back valve. And second, it is difficult for assisting the staff to give equipment to the consultant without contaminating of themselves. So chances of getting contamination to assistant staff is also slightly higher. And in case of very difficult intubation, you're getting a lot of equipment inside, so your box is going to get crowded and again can cause contamination. What about the viral load per unit? This is a stimulation thanks to Dr. Rowe. Here we can see a very high load of viral load is there. If you're looking per cubic millimeter in the air, the viral load is very high. So once you remove this box, the load towards the consultant might be on the higher side. So in conclusion, the air box concept is useful. It protects the staff performing the aerosol generating procedure, especially in the face of diminishing supply of PPE. This is a well controlled in smooth airway intubation is going to be helpful, but in ICU or difficult airway, you have to be more careful.